Are you your brand or is your business the brand? So here's a question that I hear all the time. Should I brand myself or should I brand my business? I hear entrepreneurs saying, I don't want to be the face of my business. I want to be behind the scenes. Whatever that those different things are that people say. And when people say, should I brand myself or my business? I always answer yes, but you have to be strategic about it. So if you've been spinning your wheels trying to decide whether you want to lead with your name or who you are at a personal level or with your company's name, whether it's with your face or with your logo, with your story or with your system, then this episode is for you, because what you're really talking about is not branding, right? Versus business. You're talking about positioning. Welcome to Purposeful Presence. I am your host, Coach MJ. I am a brand strategist, a keynote speaker, a published author, event producer, and all-around serial entrepreneur. And on this podcast, we share tips and strategies and mindset shifts for growth-minded DIY solopreneurs, small business owners, any type of entrepreneur who needs to elevate your brand and social marketing so that you can start attracting the opportunities and the premium customers that you deserve. So let's get into today's episode. And if you are not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe and turn on notifications, share this episode. And if you are a faithful supporter, welcome back to this episode. So let's get into it. Are you the brand or is your business the brand? So the first thing, I'm always coming through. I got 5 steps for everything, right? Or 5 points. Today, our first point is that your brand is the bridge, not the name. Your bridge, not the name. So your brand isn't just about the name of your company. It's not about the logo and the colors. And on this channel and on this podcast, we talk a lot about colors and logos and being consistent. And all those things matter because they help people to recognize you from a visibility standpoint, and people know what to expect, which builds trust. But your brand is not just those things. It's also about the emotional bridge between you and your audience. I can think of so many amazing brands that come to mind as we're going to be talking about this today. So I'm going to pepper our discussion with some of those brands. It's about that emotional bridge. It's the feeling that people get when they land on your website, when they read a caption from you, or they see your offer, whatever it is that you sell. And your offer is a product, a service, or even an experience that you provide, okay? That emotional connection is what builds trust, like I mentioned earlier, and it should be present at every touch point, on your website, in your email signature, on your Instagram bio, and even your Zoom background. I've got a Zoom background right. Well, this isn't Zoom that I'm on, but I have a background right now. It's one that I chose because I love the colors that go along with my brand colors. All of this are intentional things. And sometimes what I even wear is building trust, but also that emotional connection, how people feel when they come on. Do you want them to feel confident in you? Do you want them to feel energetic, vibrant? Do you want them to feel exclusive? Do you want them to feel luxurious? Do you want them to feel professional, serious? Whatever it is you want them to feel, your brand is about building that emotional connection. And the clearer and the more consistent that the experience is, the stronger your brand becomes. What was that C word I just said? I said 2 of them: clarity, how clear everything is, and how consistent it is. It's about doing the same things over time, which makes people trust you. So your brand is that bridge between you and your audience. The next point is that personal branding is about visibility, right? Being seen, being noticed, being distinct from the other people in your space. Whereas business branding is about scalability. So personal branding helps people to get to know you fast and to build trust fast, right? It's you showing up, it's you telling your story and letting people connect with the human behind the business. Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, a lot of people are like, I don't want to be the face of my business. But in today's world, so much of the playing field has been leveled. People now expect to have access to a certain degree to the CEO, to the founder, to the person that created the product. For many reasons. One, because it builds trust. They know, like, for example, I'll give you a perfect example. There's a brand of clothing that I buy Kelly Obi of New York. I love her clothing. And I saw in her branding, I always see a lot of Black models, saw it on the website, but I never saw a clear about page that said, hey, here's who Kelly Obi is, or here's who the founder is. And I suspected that it might be some rando company that is just using Black people on the front of one of their brands just to pull that particular demographic in. And I'm all about buying from small business and Black owned business when I can. And so I have been researching and looking and wondering, is this really a Black owned business? I finally had a conversation with an acquaintance of mine who's, I think she said her daughter had actually visited the store for Kelly Obi in New York. And that's how she found out, yes, it's a Black owned brand. And everything I saw about it made it seem like, yes, it was. It wasn't just the models. It was a lot of things, but I wanted to be sure. People want to know who's behind the brand. I say all that to say, you need to recognize that you are the face of your business, whether you are intentional about it or not. It's better if you're intentional about it so that you get to tell your own story. So that's the visibility part, right? Being the face, whether you're on screen, literally on screen, or whether your presence is known, like I said, with an about page, with pictures, with whatever that experience is, to let people know who you are so that you're more visible. But if you plan to grow the business or grow beyond your own capabilities of what you can do as a solopreneur, as an individual, and eventually have your business run without you, you're going to need that structure and systems of a business brand. So you want to start personal to gain momentum, right? You start with your Facebook friend list. You start with who's following you on Instagram. You start with your email list. You start with your personal networking group. And then after you gain momentum, you're going to build that business structure to support that momentum as you scale. So if you didn't already suspect, you actually need a personal brand and a business brand are the same or very closely aligned, which is the model I use. I don't like to have extremely separate business brand from my personal brand because to me, it's less authentic and it's more difficult to keep up with. So who I am is who my business is. And it's also easy for you to do that when what you offer is an extension of who you are. Like for me, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a speaker. So when you experience the things that I sell, my trainings, my workshops, my books, you're literally getting me. Whereas there might be a brand where you sell something that has nothing to do with you, might be even a product that you don't personally use, but that you are good at producing. And so it's important for the business to also have a brand separate from you because you can't always show up as the face of your brand. So personal branding is important, how you show up for visibility. The business has to have a brand so that it can scale as quickly as you want it to. The third point is face versus feel. Know the difference. Know the difference between face versus feel. So a personal brand is often driven by your face, like I was just discussing, your voice, your personality, right? That's how orange became my brand color because that's me. That's the confidence. That's the vibrancy. It's the energy. It's the warmth. That is me personally. I wanted that to be reflected in my brand, my voice. I talk to you guys very much like I talk to people in my real life, right? Very direct, very informal, very conversational. A business brand is more about the experience or the feeling that your systems and services create for your audience, right? So if you're the face of your brand, lead with your story. Tell people your story. I often talk about how I came out of corporate America and I started my business and how it's been over the last 7.5 years. If you're growing a company that's bigger than just you, so these are for my small business owners who are growing a team, lead with the promise and the transformation that you offer, because soon it's not going to be about you. Now, I want to use this example. The goal is not to choose one over the other, meaning not choosing personal brand over business brand, but knowing when each one needs to take the lead. So I'm just thinking about a brand that I love so much, Tabitha Brown. Her name is her brand. She is her brand. She leads with authenticity. That's when her career really skyrocketed, is when she started being herself, wearing her hair naturally, speaking with her accent from where she's from, and just being true to herself, being authentic, saying what she wants to say, working with who she wants to work with, and never compromising on her values. And she has built this multi-million-dollar brand she's everywhere. She's got events and products and services, TV shows. She's acting. She's everywhere, right? But she's still the brand. When people come to her stuff, it's because they want to meet her. She got a cruise next year. People want to meet her. Whatever she sells out, whether it's cookware, food, whatever she's involved in. When she had a restaurant, her children's show, you name it, whatever she's involved in, people come because she is her brand. Now, eventually there'll be facets. It might already have happened. There'll be facets of Tabitha Brown's brand that she may not be personally involved with on the front line. Her hand is going to be in it because she wants to make sure it's authentic to her. But there may be things that she ends up selling that don't necessarily have her as much of her direct touch on it on a day-to-day basis, just because it's something that she sells, she signed off on it, and it's going on without her. And that's when her business brand, how you experience her when you go to her website and you buy her products, when you show up at her events, how is the experience when you book the cruise? What is that customer service experience like? What is it like when you're on her email list? Those are all touch points that have to do with the business brand that is a spinoff of her personal brand. I love her as who she is. I love her personal brand, her business brand. I love everything I've ever interacted with her on because it's always been consistent from the time I've been following her these last 7 or 8 years. So her face and the feel of her business have been consistent, and that's why she's a growing brand. You have to know the difference and when each of those parts of your business of your brand need to be moved forward. Number 4, community versus infrastructure. So one of the strengths of a personal brand is that you can build connection and community. Using Tabitha Brown as an example, again, when she started out, she was in her kitchen. She was cooking, showing what she was cooking from a vegan perspective. You felt like you were right there on her kitchen counter because that's where the phone was that she was literally streaming or recording those videos from. That's where it was. She was able to build this community. It wasn't a Facebook group. It wasn't, anything of that nature. It was just the comment sections on all her videos, but it was a community of people that now go hard for her. We all feel like we're part of a community, even though we're millions strong, because of that connectedness she was able to build. Your audience was able to get to know her, and it built loyalty to her. So that when she started dropping products left and right, when she started dropping products, they would sell out immediately. Not because we needed those things necessarily. We just love whatever she's doing. If she says it's all right, we're going to buy it. She built trust. When you think about Very Good Mondays, for those who are Tabitha Brown fans, Very Good Mondays is a small business promotion segment she's done for years where she gives small businesses visibility, and many of their brands turn around overnight because kind of like with Oprah Winfrey, that's another great brand. Oprah Winfrey's, I think it was called her favorite things, her list of favorite things, or any book that she likes is going to the bestseller list. Same thing with Tabitha Brown. She says these small businesses products are nice. She reviews them right there on the screen. Next thing you know, they're sold out overnight and they're back in business when some of them were failing before she touched their product. She's only able to do that because she was able to build a community. A business brand, on the other hand, is not about building community. It exists to support that relationship with structure, systems, automations, customer service, fulfillment. Because here's what's true. If we had inconsistent experiences with her products and services once we bought them, eventually, even if her personality is great, we would not trust her and we'd be like, I'm not buying it because the last time I bought it, it was trash. Here's the thing. Even if you don't care for some of her products and services, or even if one of her customers doesn't care for one of her products, they still are going to go hard for her. She's such a great example of this because people love her. The people that love her, right? And her genuineness, her authenticity, her sweet spirit, whatever that is. But she has to have infrastructure to back that up or it won't go far. So if you're transitioning from a solopreneur to the CEO that has teams under you doing things for you, kind of like she has gone from solopreneurship to CEO, this is where your business brand needs to step up so you're not carrying it all on your own. So your business brand is as much about the look and feel as it is about the systems and the automations. Finally, both personal brands and business brands require boldness and consistency. I talk all the time about being authentic. I think authenticity should be the bedrock. It should be the foundation of any type of brand because it's true to you. Don't try to build your business or your brand like what somebody else is doing. Doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. You need to build your brand authentic to you. So whether you're branding yourself or your business, clarity is non-negotiable. It has to be crystal clear who you are, what you stand for, and what people can expect to experience. You need to know what your values are. You need to know what your voice is. You need to know what your visual identity is, because in order to stand out on social media and in any of these other spaces, in people's inboxes, in their email, whether you have a billboard, when you're at an event that you're hosting or that somebody else is hosting, your visual identity matters, and stick to it across all platforms. Boldness makes you memorable. being bold. It doesn't mean your brand is bold, but it means you have to be bold enough to stand in your truth or to stand on business, as they say. Whatever you've decided is true about you, whatever you've decided to stand for, represent, speak on, stand true in boldness. That's what's going to make you memorable. Some of the people I follow on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook are the people that stand on what they stand on. They're not apologizing. I don't even always agree with what these people say, but I still watch their content because I love that they are being themselves. People are drawn and attracted to people who are authentic. I have learned that in this season of my life because there's so much fakery out there. There's so much inauthenticity. There's so much that can't be trusted. AI is making people distrust every picture and every video because it's fake, right? And they want to know what's real. They got friends that have been fake and they found out the truth about them, all this kind of stuff. So when they find something that's real, they're drawn to it, even if the person is behaving poorly. Even when a brand is behaving poorly to a certain extent, people still are like, yeah, but they doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of thing. Consistency builds trust. Together, the boldness and the consistency create the kind of brand equity that sets you apart and allows you to charge premium prices with confidence. Now, when I say premium prices, I'm not even always talking about high ticket, like 3, 4, 5,000. Although, yes, if your product or service needs that price, go for it, right? High ticket is the way to go to get to your income goals a lot more quickly. But premium prices just mean you are at the top of the price range for what people are expecting to pay in that marketplace. So if everybody else sells theirs for their whatever it is for 25, you sell your version, your experience for 100. 100 isn't a lot of money, but it's premium for what everybody else is selling for $25. So that's what I mean by premium prices. When you have boldness and you stand on what you stand on, and you show up as your authentic self and your business does the same, and then you add that with consistency over time, that's when you can charge those premium prices and get the customers and the experiences and opportunities that you deserve. Here's the truth. It's not about choosing personal versus business branding, okay? It's about being strategic with how you show up. And so you can scale without having confusion and without being burned out. Because if you burn out and you're a solopreneur, you're all you got and there's nothing after that, right? You don't want to burn out. Your brand should work for you. It should pave the way for you to make it easier when you actually show up to do whatever it is that you do, not the other way around. You should not be working for your brand. Your brand should work for you. So if you're ready to get clarity on your brand positioning, whether you're the face, the founder, or both, like I am, let's talk. You can book a complimentary brand strategy call at calendly.com/IamCoachMJ, CALENDLY.com/IamCoachMJ. We'll get on the phone. We're going to talk through what you're trying to accomplish. Well, first of all, we're going to start out with where you are. We're going to look at where is it you want to go with your brand, with your products and services and getting them out into the marketplace. And then we're going to put together the high-level strategy that you will want to pursue in order to make your personal brand and your business brand work for you in the ways it's going to get you to your goals more quickly. It's a complimentary call. There's no cost to you. So go to my calendar, calendly.com/IamCoachMJ and grab you a spot, because this is where you're going to separate from the folk that are just going to continue working their business like it's a job, and you getting to a place where you could sell your business, where you could walk away, where you could have people working for you while you're sipping drinks on a beach. That's not everybody's goal, but that's the goal of the people I'm talking to. So get on my calendar, calendly.com/IamCoachMJ. The link is on the screen so we can get you started with curating a brand and a marketing strategy that's going to get you where you want to go sooner than later in 2025. We're going to assess where your brand stands today and map out where you need to go to shift to help you attract who you want to attract. Let's build a brand that is authentically you, that you can be proud of, that does all the heavy lifting for you. So all you have to do is show up and stay focused on the impact that you were brought here to make. This has been another episode of Purposeful Presence. I'm Coach MJ. And until next time, take care, be blessed, and